ahead, we are reminded of a somber milestone in the search for a missing girl out of Cleveland County.
Today marks Asha Degree's 35th birthday. She was just 9 years old when she disappeared more than 25 years ago. Our Mary Calkins is live in the newsroom with a look.
A 9-year-old walked into a storm, then vanished. On a cold February morning in the year 2000, something happened that still doesn't make sense. It wasn't a plane crash. It wasn't a war. It wasn't a natural disaster. It was a little girl, 9 years old, a child who lived in a quiet neighborhood, a daughter, a sister, a student, and somehow, in the middle of a storm, she vanished. More than 2 decades later, investigators are still trying to answer a question that seems impossible. Why would a 9-year-old leave her home alone at 3 o'clock in the morning during a cold rainstorm? And where did she go? This is the story of Asha Degree, one of America's most haunting missing person cases, and a mystery that refuses to be solved. February 13, 2000. For most families in Shelby, North Carolina, it was an ordinary Sunday. The town was small, quiet, the kind of place where people knew their neighbors, the kind of place where children rode bicycles and families attended church together. For the Degree family, life was simple. Asha Degree lived with her parents and her older brother. By all accounts, she was a happy child. She enjoyed basketball. She did well in school. She wasn't known as a runaway. She wasn't a troublemaker. She wasn't the kind of child anyone expected to disappear. In fact, nearly everyone who knew her described her as cautious. Some even said she was afraid of the dark, which makes what happened next even harder to understand. That Sunday had been relatively normal. Asha attended church with her family. Later, she played in a basketball game. Her team lost. Asha fouled out of the game and felt disappointed. But nothing about the day suggested a major problem. Nothing suggested that within hours she would vanish. That evening, the family settled in at home. A storm moved through the area, heavy rain, strong winds. Power outages affected parts of the neighborhood. Eventually, everyone went to bed. The house became quiet. The storm continued outside. And sometime during the night, everything changed. Around 2:30 a.m., Asha's father checked on the children. Both Asha and her brother appeared to be asleep. Nothing seemed unusual. He returned to bed. But sometime after that, Asha got up. No one knows exactly when. No one knows why. What investigators do know is that she left her bedroom. She left her house and stepped into the darkness, alone, 9 years old. No coat. No explanation. No note. Just a backpack containing personal belongings. Then she disappeared into the storm. When morning arrived, panic began. Asha's mother went to wake the children for school. Her brother was there. Asha wasn't. At first there was confusion. Maybe she was somewhere else in the house. Maybe she had gone outside. Maybe she was with a relative. Within minutes, fear started growing. The family searched everywhere. Nothing. No sign of her. The police were called. Soon neighbors joined the search, then volunteers, then investigators. The entire community became involved. A little girl was missing, and every passing minute mattered. Initially, many assumed she had been abducted. After all, what other explanation could there be? 9-year-olds don't simply walk away from home in the middle of the night. But then investigators received information that changed everything. Witnesses reported seeing a child walking along Highway 18 in the dark during the storm, alone. One truck driver later said he saw a small girl walking south along the roadside. At first, he thought it was unusual. Then he became concerned. He turned his vehicle around to check on her. But as he approached, the girl reportedly ran into the woods, disappearing into darkness. That single sighting transformed the investigation. Because if the witness was correct, It meant something extraordinary. Asha had left voluntarily, at least initially. She wasn't taken from her bed. She walked away herself. But why? That question has haunted investigators for decades. Why would a child leave a warm home during a storm? Why would she walk down a highway before sunrise? Why would she run away from someone trying to help? Nothing about the situation made sense. And the deeper investigators looked, the stranger the case became. Friends didn't know anything. Teachers didn't know anything. Relatives didn't know anything. No one reported abuse. No one reported serious problems. There was no obvious reason for Asha to leave. The mystery only deepened. As search teams expanded operations, they focused heavily on the area where witnesses reported seeing her. The woods, nearby properties, fields, roadways. Every possible location was examined. Then investigators discovered something. Inside a nearby shed, they found items believed to be connected to Asha. Among them were personal belongings and evidence suggesting she may have been there briefly. It appeared she had taken shelter from the storm. For a moment, investigators thought they were getting closer. Maybe she had hidden there. Maybe someone had encountered her. Maybe answers were waiting nearby. But once again, the trail went cold. The shed raised more questions than answers. If she stopped there, where did she go afterward? Who saw her next? What happened after she left? No one knew. Weeks turned into months. Months became years. The search never truly ended. Leads continued arriving. Most led nowhere. False sightings, mistaken identities, rumors, speculation, the kind of noise that surrounds many famous disappearances. Yet one discovery would later reignite the entire case. And make it even stranger. 18 months after Asha disappeared, construction workers made an unexpected discovery. Buried inside plastic bags, hidden along a rural roadway, was Asha's backpack. The very backpack she had carried when she vanished. It was found miles away from where she was last seen. Someone had gone to significant effort to conceal it. That detail terrified investigators. Because backpacks don't bury themselves, someone had possession of it. Someone intentionally hid it, and whoever did that may have known exactly what happened to Asha Degree. The backpack became one of the most important pieces of evidence in the case. Investigators examined every item inside, every clue, every possibility. But despite years of analysis, the discovery failed to provide definitive answers. Instead, it strengthened fears that another person was involved. Asha may have left home alone, but many investigators became convinced she didn't remain alone for long. As the years passed, theories multiplied. Some believed she was lured away, others believed she was meeting someone. Some suggested an unknown predator encountered her after she left. Each theory attempted to explain the same impossible question. Why would a child willingly step into a storm before sunrise? Unfortunately, none of the theories fully explained everything. Each left important questions unanswered, and so the mystery remained. What makes this case particularly disturbing is how little evidence exists. No confirmed suspects, no verified motive, no definitive timeline after the sightings, just fragments, pieces of a puzzle that refuse to fit together. Most missing person investigations eventually reveal a pattern, a mistake, a suspect, an explanation, but Asha's case seems frozen in uncertainty, like a story missing its final chapter. For her family, that uncertainty has been devastating. Years have passed. Birthdays have come and gone. Holidays have arrived and ended. Yet the central question remains unchanged. What happened to Asha? The lack of answers can be harder than certainty. Because certainty allows grief to settle. Mystery does not. Mystery keeps hope alive. But it also keeps pain alive. Every new lead creates possibility. Every dead end brings disappointment. The cycle repeats again and again, for decades. Investigators never gave up. The case remained active, evidence was re-examined, technology improved, New tips emerged. Public awareness continued, and while progress was sometimes slow, authorities remained committed to finding answers. Over the years, investigators announced renewed interest in various leads. Some involved vehicles reportedly seen near the area. Others focused on possible individuals who may have crossed paths with Asha. Yet despite extensive efforts, the mystery endured. What makes Asha's disappearance different from many other cold cases is its emotional contradiction. Nothing about her personality suggests she should have left. Nothing about the weather suggests she should have gone outside. Nothing about the timing makes sense. And yet multiple witnesses appear to place her on that highway, walking alone, in the rain. Before dawn, that image has become one of the most haunting scenes in modern true crime. A small child, walking into darkness, for reasons no one understands. Imagine seeing those headlights approach. Imagine hearing rain hitting the pavement. Imagine turning around and seeing a little girl walking beside the road. You would stop. You would wonder where her parents were. You would assume help was nearby. You would never imagine that more than 20 years later, the mystery would still be unsolved. Yet that's exactly what happened. Today, Asha Degree's disappearance remains one of the most baffling missing child cases in American history. Investigators continue searching for answers. Her family continues hoping for resolution. And the public continues asking the same question asked on the very first day. Why? Why did she leave? Why that night? Why during a storm? Why alone? Somewhere, someone likes.
Somewhere, someone likely knows the answer. Someone may know what happened after those sightings. Someone may know where the trail truly ended. The challenge is finding that person, finding the missing piece, finding the truth. Until then, the mystery remains. A quiet neighborhood, a rainy night, a 9-year-old girl, a highway disappearing into darkness, and a story that still refuses to explain itself. More than 2 decades have passed since Asha Degree walked out of her home, yet her footsteps still echo through this case. Not because anyone knows where they led, but because nobody does. And sometimes the most frightening mysteries aren't the ones with terrifying answers. They're the ones with no answers at all,